I've been blessed with incredible friends. Although some of those friends have moved on and have pursued different things in life, some of those friends are still around. Although I love hanging out with people just in general, I have also discovered that there are specific things and specific people that I enjoy hanging out with more. I enjoy conversations with all different types of people about politics, about religion, about business. But one thing that I have discovered is that it's probably more productive for me to hang out with people that will empower me to help pursue the things that I want, not just to get things from them, but that will just make me a better person and that also align with the vision and the path that I have in my life. Now, you do run across people kind of unexpectedly sometimes that will help guide you and adjust the direction that you're going. And at first glance, you're like, well, that person doesn't really match up. But after a little bit more conversation, you're like, man, this is not the type of person that I would have gravitated towards initially. But man, this is a really great person. I really enjoy this relationship. And it's been a really good thing to have this person in my life. It's important to recognize people that are good to have in your life and people that are negative to have in your life. We all have a limited amount of time each day and we're only gonna live for so long. And so we don't wanna waste time doing things or even engaging with people that are going to be a net negative to our life. As a young man, I was really insecure. I would still say I'm a fairly insecure person that I'm constantly trying to become better and more confident in who I am and the things that I feel like I'm good at. But when I was younger, I found myself really seeking the affirmation of a lot of different people. I didn't really want anyone not to like me or feel like I wasn't smart. That was a struggle because of my father dying young, but also being dyslexic and not having someone right there at my home every day affirming me and helping me be a stronger, more confident person. Although I had really great people that honestly probably gave me the little bit of confidence that I did have, I felt like it was always something I was struggling with. Hey, just a quick pause. As you know, we don't sell anything, but if you want to support us or you enjoy our content, please subscribe or share it with a friend. The reason that I bring that up is because it also affected the relationships I had. So some of the relationships that I had weren't probably ideal. They were relationships where I was looking for affirmation. They were probably a little bit more one-sided, and I was scared to maybe stand up or say certain things. That insecurity did affect the type of relationships I had. I would say that was related to dyslexia and a lot to do with not having a father when I was young. Like most people, I've lost touch with certain friends through the years, childhood friends, or just, you meet someone and maybe you're close for a season, maybe they're your neighbor, and then you kind of lose contact when you move or go to a different area. But there have been a couple relationships that I've lost because of conflict. Whether it be in business or personal. There was one person that I had a relationship with and we had kind of a business relationship, but we also were personally friends. There was some money involved in our relationship and there was a disruption in his business and there was also some disruption in his personal life. And so that relationship ended up getting lost, unfortunately. And looking back at that, it had a lot to do with poor communication and bad expectations, and it was avoidable. Honestly, when I look back at it, I see so many different things that we could have done better to maintain that relationship. But in this situation, it appears that it's unsalvageable, and that money that was invested, I lost. And more importantly, the relationship that we had is no more, and I haven't been able to be in touch with them. I've also had some personal relationships that were lost. I've actually had a lot of personal relationships that have been lost through the years. First off, one friend that wasn't related to any organization. He was just someone that I got to know. We were really close friends, and honestly, we moved to different cities, and there was, I think, some miscommunication and just some mis-expectations, and I've done my best to do what I can with that. But through the years, we've just drifted apart, and now we just don't talk anymore. And when I've reached out, there's no response, and it's just been really kind of awkward and weird. And so sometimes it's just best to recognize that those relationships are not for this season, and maybe they'll come back in the future, or maybe they'll just be a good memory of the past. Another situation where I've lost a lot of friendships is within a church organization. And disclaimer, I'm a part of a church now. I'm a believer in church. I think church is great. It builds great community. There's a lot of great things about church, but like all things, it's not all good. And there's some negative things too, and it's not perfect. And so when I was young, I was a part of a church, and when I decided to leave that church, I lost all of my friendships from that church, which was so bizarre. And it's honestly just kind of crazy how some of that works. Now, it's a very complicated situation. There was a lot of hurt feelings, there was a lot of emotions, and so I'm not here to point fingers, although it was a really crappy situation, and I'm sure I did some things that I could have done better, but ultimately the place that we were at was just crazy and honestly pretty corrupt. And so there was dozens of relationships lost during that season. And those are just examples of how life evolves and how relationships evolve. And so here are some things that I think are important when evaluating how you build friendships and the people that you allow into your inner circle. Loyalty. Loyalty is one of the most important things in a relationship. Now, that doesn't mean that that person can't tell you that you're wrong or have hard conversations. In fact, very much the contrary. Loyalty means that you can have those hard conversations and it doesn't matter. You can do hard things together and you don't have to be worried about, is this person not going to be my friend anymore? We're not in high school anymore. We can do hard things, we can say difficult things, and we can do it privately and we can do it directly, and that should help strengthen those relationships. Trust. Trust is crucial in being able to have a relationship that is transparent. If I don't think that I can say something confidentially and be able to speak candidly, well, that relationship's gonna have a ceiling on it because I want to be authentic in my relationships. Honestly, it's one of the reasons that I don't have a lot of close friends is because I want to be able to speak candidly and with authenticity. And if I can't do that, then like I said, there's a ceiling on where that relationship can go. Authenticity. So it kind of, mirrors the trust a little bit, but I need to be able to be myself. I need to be able to test ideas, to just flush out ideas, but I want to do that with confidence that the person is going to be loyal and I can trust this person. And maybe I talk about something that maybe I don't fully believe, but I'm just kind of thinking out loud and I'm processing. I'm very much an external processor. So when I have a conversation, if there's not loyalty and trust, then I can't be authentic. And I think that's such a crucial aspect of a really meaningful relationship. There are other things that I think are also important, like open-mindedness, compassion, but I think that those other three are the main things that are just kind of the cornerstone or the pillars for great relationships. When I think about the relationships that aren't really relevant in my life anymore, I sometimes get sad, but I also am excited about the people that are in my life today. And I recognize that relationships, or meaningful relationships, need to be with people that you trust, people that you can have transparency with, and people that you can do hard things with. And if I have to be worried if I'm gonna say something that's gonna offend them and I can't, talk about new ideas or difficult ideas, and I'm worried about them walking away because I'm trying to find the best version of myself, I'm also trying to challenge the status quo, those aren't people that are going to be around for the long term, because I like to push the envelope. I like to be authentic, and I need people around me who love me as I am and also accept me for the person that I am, but also are willing to challenge me the same way that I want to challenge things. I want them to challenge me. And if I know they're loyal and I know they're authentic and I know that they're trustworthy, then we can have that dynamic and we can really do amazing things together. People are messy and relationships can be complicated. And honestly, that's why I don't have a lot of close friends, is because I don't have time to deal with a lot of mess. But I do want a handful of people around me that I can be fully dedicated to, that I'm loyal to, I'm authentic with, we're authentic, and we have a sense of trust with one another. Those types of relationships mean the world to me, and I would die for some of my friends, and I know they would do the same.